Hi everyone. In this tutorial I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the options you have in Photoshop to edit your pictures. As you can see here, I opened several pictures in Photoshop already, and I'm going to use these 4 pictures to show you what type of options you have. It's just a brief introduction, so I'm going to show you a couple of things that might be useful. First of all, I'm going to point you out that over here you find the tools you can use to alter your photos. Over here there are several menus. The colors you can find over here, and here you'll find the layers, and we are going to use the layers to alter this photo. It's a picture I took with an analog camera, and some of the analog cameras have the option to double expose a piece of film. So basically take 2 pictures on top of each other. Mine doesn't have the option, so I'm gonna give that effect manually in Photoshop. As you can see right now I only have one layer, which is the background. I can unlock it. I can turn it off. With the eye I can make it visible and invisible. So it's this layer, and I'm gonna put another layer on top of it. Let's see. Over here I have an image of a sunset. It didn't turn out too well, but it will be might be very nice for the overlay. So I'm just gonna click and drag it into my Photoshop. I'm gonna put it here and not here, because if you put it here it's gonna make a separate file. I want to put it on here on top of the workspace, so it's going to throw it in. There you go. Just click accept, and you have it here. And as you can see, you have 2 different layers. This one is the sunset, and if I disable that one, you can see that underneath there's still the layer of the road. What you can do over here is change the density and the layer. So like here, it's like putting 2 layers on top of each other. That bit. And the other options you have is change the layer format. So if you go to this menu here, you can have multiple options to cover it. It's not very clear with this one. So yeah, it's just a bare lighter color, covering, linear, hard light. So all sorts of things how you can edit to it, but I'm gonna stick to normal, and I'm just gonna reduce the coverage to give the idea of the double exposure. Like this. So there we go. Another option with these type of layers is adding textures to your photos. This photo here is of a more industrial side, so I thought it would be nice to add a more grungy layer to it. And here in textures I've collected multiple textures over the years, and there will be a file on Blackboard with different links to websites where you can find these type of textures. And so I can use this one, or maybe just the size to how I want it to be. I'm going to turn it a bit like this. If you go to the corners, you'll be able to turn the file. So it has to cover the entire file. I like the numbers, so I want to keep those. So, click OK. Then it's going to transform it. Like we did earlier, we can just simply reduce the coverage for the effect. But you can also use one of these options to find one to your liking. And another option you can add is a gradient. We're gonna do that manually, so we're gonna add a new layer. You can find the new layer here, and it will create an empty layer. The gradient tool you can find here, and I want it a bit brownish. And I want it to fade into transparent like this. And I'm just going to drag the gradient onto here. Right now it's covering a bit too much. So right now you have a more brownish area on top and a more transparent one over there. So that's the overlays I wanted to show you. The next one, I'm going to show you how to adjust your lightning, because as you can see, this picture is a little bit overexposed on this side here, and I'm going to change the lightning by going to, my version is in Dutch, so it's afbeelding, and aanpassingen, modifications probably in English. And then I'm going to change it with lightning, belichting. I don't know how it's called in the English one. And you can just drag the bars up and down. That's a bit too light, a bit like this. And if you don't feel like doing all the modifications manually, you can also simply press. Hi everyone, in this tutorial and if you don't feel like editing anything manually, Photoshop has some handy automatic settings over here, like auto contrast. It's going to make it a bit darker over here, especially brighter here, and auto colors. No, I don't like that. Other modifications you can find are, for instance, liveliness over here to make the colors of your picture brighter, black and white, or you can add a photo filter like hot or cold, but I think hot looks prettier in this picture, and you just press OK. So this way you can use multiple filters to subtly change your picture. We're gonna use similar modifications to edit this one, but I decided that I wanted part of this picture in black and white, where the guy is, and part of the picture I wanted in green, so basically where the bushes are. To get that effect, we're gonna duplicate the layer. Right now we only have the background layer, and if you press with your right mouse button, you'll get a menu and you can duplicate the layer like this. So now we have the same layers, and the top layer I'm gonna change it into black and white like this. Then I want to have part of the picture in black and white and parts of the picture in green. So we're going to do that by adding a layer mask. So this way you can decide, what will be affected by the color. And you can add a layer mask over here. So you just press it. And as you can see here, you see the new mask. And everything that is white will show up. And everything that is black will disappear. So we're gonna change our main color to black. Get the pencil, make it a bit smaller. Not that small, so. And then we're just gonna draw the mask, as you can see over here. And so, carefully color the bushes. So. And if the edges are still a bit too rough, you can easily edit the layer mask by double clicking on it, and this menu will show up. And by dragging this one up and down, you can soften the edges a bit. As you can see now that there's almost a gradient here. I don't really want to. Like this should be good. Oh. So usually when I edit a picture or a portrait, I use a combination of these different effects which I've shown you. So the rest of this picture, of this tutorial, will just be a demonstration on how I usually edit pictures. If you feel like, I want to experiment with the things you just shown me, go ahead. So yeah, I often use photo editing during when I'm doing some portrait pictures, because I still have loads of issues with getting the face well lit. Like you can see here, it's at a Christmas market, and the lights at the back are very pretty. The face is a bit, too dark. So we're gonna fix that. First, we're gonna duplicate the layer, like over here. And then we're gonna make it a little bit brighter with the light. So, like this. But yeah, as you can see, the picture is quite yellowish because the light at the time was very yellowish. So we're gonna fix that a little bit with a photo filter. And instead of a warm, we're gonna use a cold one. I think this one is the nicest. So as you can see, it's already a lot brighter, but it kind of takes away the charm from the lights at the background. So we're gonna do the same as I did with the black and white picture. I'm gonna add a layer mask to it. And then I'm just gonna draw out the background. No. First the edges, and now I can use a bigger brush. Bit too big. No. But yeah. As you can see, you can still see the edges of where the effect was. So I'm gonna mask it a little bit like this. So like this. So as you can see, the effect is pretty big already. But there's still a lot of shadow in these areas over here. So I'm going to duplicate this one and make it even brighter than this. So. And this one I'm going to use, like only going to keep for those very dark areas. So I'm going to make the entire layer mask black. Like this. It's Ctrl backspace and it will fill everything with your background color, which in this case is black. And then I'm just going to draw on the darker areas over here. Yeah, takes some time. Yeah. And some more light here too. Some right here. So, as you can see, the shade is a little bit less already. I actually want it even brighter. So, like this. Oh, so you can see where the track actually was. So this is what I did, or brightened up. And this part is, now it's a bit more blended. So yeah, as you can see, already quite some differences. So this is what the picture, what it was before the edit. And this is what it looks like after the edit. And maybe just for some decorative purposes, I'm gonna add a new layer because it's already a bit brownish. I think it might be nice to add some more white brownish lights. So we select the color and use the brush. And draw some sort of vignette on top of it. Like this. Obviously you can barely see the picture anymore, so we're gonna make it a lot less bright. A lot less bright. So, just like this. And you can also like change it to your taste. If you feel like I want it more Christmassy, you can always add a bit of red. Or anything like that. No, that's too much. So yeah, as you can see, the usual editing process of my pictures. I hope these tutorials were clear and I hope you can use them to start exploring Photoshop by yourself.